We don't just talk about our work, we don't just do endless stage readings and workshops. We produce them as world premiere, fully produced plays. And no one else in Portland is doing that with a company of only local writers.
But at the same time, I think there's been a shift very recently where self-producing isn't considered lower on the food chain. It's not, vanity project anymore. There are a lot of really highly regarded playwrights who are just taking things in hand more. And we're really happy to be part of that trend. We didn't invent it, but we think it's just great.
So what we do is we make a nod to how unviable it is to produce new plays, and we say we're going to do it anyway. We're going to do it in a scrappy way. We're not going to have our own space. We're going to produce a new play each year by each one of us, and this is going to enable the audience in Portland, certainly, to learn about us, to have our playwrights be household names. So when some of the larger houses are looking for a new play, they're able to perhaps choose a play by us because the audience is already educated.
They challenge people to think a little bit harder and to feel a little bit more and to imagine a different life and a different possibility for how their life might go, whether that's day to day or whether that's over the course of their entire life.
But I think we're also, maybe just as a theater-loving community, kind of getting more in touch with a desire now for great story on stage.
I mean, the playwright is the person who's creating the world.
What we do is so close to poetry.
Playwrights are the ones who are allowed to explore. I mean, directors and actors explore within a framework, but the playwright is the one who's able to create that framework. Those particular voices we have to listen to because in a way they're the captain of the ship. Or at least they're the map makers. Without them, we get lost.
The theater is not static, it's always changing. And I think that the point of theater sometimes, most of the time, is to have a conversation with the audience.
Each generation has their own concerns, their own things that they're grappling with. And so encouraging new voices in the theater, we can continue the conversations that we have. I mean, it's no fun to just keep recycling the classics because classics do have things for us, but we also need to have new voices all the time, new voices.
And especially in the 21st century, everything's moving so quickly and technology is on the rise and all this pop culture that informs us as human beings. So it's absolutely essential that that's recognized on stage.
And so, as producers and playwrights, I think we're really cognizant of the fact that there is an original intent from that playwright, that their voice is really important.
We need new voices. We have to have new voices because, for example, Shakespeare had to start somewhere.
And I think Playwrights West really does that. I think by putting playwrights in the producing role, we are putting people who have story, who have the play at the center of their interests. And I think that that's why they make them better producers. I think that they are taking care of the writers because they know that the writers are taking care of the text and they know that the text is taking care of the story.
But I think it does create a wonderful, a high bar for honoring what the playwright hopes to see on the stage. And that's certainly what we're trying to do at Playwrights West.
The way in which we as writers can collaborate in terms of reading each other's work, in terms of critiquing each other's work. It's a joy to be able to do that because it's not every day that you can do that.
And then also it's just wonderful being part of an organization that's going to produce the play that I want to produce. We're not having to worry so much about is it marketable.
And it's always a risk. Of course it's a risk. But that's the incredibly exciting thing about theater is that we are taking chances. We're putting ourselves up on stage.
I think what's remarkable is that you've got these 9 folks who they're able to collaborate together.
It's always going to be fresh. It's always going to be relevant.
You know, everyone's sort of at different stages in their career, but everyone has a career. Everyone is an established, successful writer with work behind them, and
We really think that you know, getting a chance to do this with writers that we love is just great with us, and we hope there's lots of it going on in the country.
There's nothing more than I want than to have colleagues who are working and doing exciting work and working at a high level, and that's what I have in Playwrights West, and it's a dream come true for a playwright.
It's a stunning group of people to work with, and I couldn't ask for a better group of writers or collaborators. I'm blown away by Playwrights West.
I'm Patrick Woolmott.
I'm Claire Willett.
I'm Steve Patterson.
I am Andrea Stolowitz.
I'm Karen McGaldy.
I am Matthew Biesrebski.
I'm Andrew Wardenauer.
I am Debbie Lanidman.
I am Ellen Margolis, and we are Playwrights West.